We're gonna ask everybody to take their seats so we can get ready to get started. Again, we are having a public hearing. There is a sign-in sheet when you come in the door. We are asking everyone to sign in if you have not already. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our work session started. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're gonna get Councilwoman Greer Bissignani to open us up in prayer tonight.
Father God, we come before you asking for your wisdom, your guidance, your words that will come forth from our lips that will be uplifting and not offensive to anyone, and most importantly, not offensive to you. Father God, we are wanting to be respectful, so help us to keep that in mind as we act on behalf of the city. Father God, we thank you for this city. We thank you for what it means to each and every one of our citizens. We thank you for those who are visiting with us tonight. And we just ask that you be with us tonight as we make decisions to the best of our ability on behalf of the citizens of Sylacauga. Thank you in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, Greer, for that prayer. All right, first on the agenda, we do have some old business, and it is discussion that is necessary. Oh, I wanted to start out too. Councilman Brewer will not be here tonight. We just want to make sure that's added into the minutes. Nate will not be here. So the first thing on the agenda is old business, is discussion that is necessary by Shop Superintendent Ed Ford and Interim City Clerk Treasurer Kathy Epperson regarding fiscal year 27 transit grant application, also referred to Section 5311, non-urbanized area public transportation. Vote will authorize EARPDC with a designation letter to file grant application with the city's intention, specifically the council intention on whether to purchase van during fiscal year 27. And I think this is something that we asked for last year, and we do have Ed's recommendation in front of us. I don't know if Ed's here tonight from KISS. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Ford? So, if you don't mind, you come up to the microphone just so we can hear you, please. And thank you for coming tonight. So what I'm looking at, and I could be wrong, your recommendation is that we buy 2 vans this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I do recommend it's about 6 things.
okay.
And I can give you the logic behind that. That's what she did.
Well, no, I mean, you said it, you just, based on the years and the miles, and I mean, we do know how often we have the vans on the road, and you are the expert in this, and that's why
And
we asked for your advice.
after 10 years, you're gonna start having some serious issues.
Okay. All right, so, if you guys do agree, I guess we are ready to proceed in getting that, that recommendation, that proposal in place to tell them that we do wanna, purchase 2 vans this year.
It is on your agenda tonight, but.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ford.
I did.
All right, I am gonna, restructure the work session, agenda a little bit tonight. We do have a special guest. So we are gonna move number 5 up to number 1. So if you guys just bear with us. All right, so number 5 is, and this is discussion only. It says discussion that is necessary by Randall Winston regarding the proposal to address animal control options along the Highway 280 corridor surrounding businesses and areas. And I do wanna welcome Mr. Winston here tonight. He did reach out to me. As you all know, we do have an issue going on in Sylacauga as far as the feral dogs on the 280 corridor, and just by speaking to Mr. Winston, he seems to be very educated on this matter, which I am not. So I do appreciate you coming out tonight and helping us be a little bit more educated and just have a better understanding on how we can move forward to handle the situation that we are having. So Mr. Winston, if you want to just come up to the microphone. Oh, and guys, too, we do have a packet in front of us from Mr. Winston on what he's gonna be talking about tonight.
Thank you for the
I think it's working. My name is Winston Randall. I'm out of Bessemer, Alabama. For the last 3 years, starting about where y'all were 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I wasn't educated at all about catching animals and how to help them. But with social media, a lot of things come to your attention nowadays, and I was made aware of 5 shepherds that were dumped at the front gate of Camp Fletcher in McCall, Alabama. And over the first 3 months, I wasn't aware of it. 2 of them were captured in box traps, little small traps when they were puppies. They were summarily given a needle and euthanized. And so we became aware of it in May of that year, 3 years ago, and not knowing anything, you try to go to the sources where you can learn. And so we ended up with an organization called the Retrievers. If you go on social media and you were to search the term Missy trap, they invented it. It's a large corral trap. Now it works with a magnet. It works 24 hours a day. And the cost on it, if you were to buy the deluxe version like we're using now, it's well under $1,000. So it's not a big expense. Most police departments have a retriever kennel at their precincts to detain dogs that come in through the police department. And so this is a multi-use kennel. It can be put up anywhere in under 15 minutes. And with a trail camera, you have the ability to monitor it 24 hours a day. So when you get a dog in the trap, the door closes, you get a message on your phone, you need to get out of bed and go get it, and get it to safety. In riding your city, most of the dogs that are down here were somebody's pet. And unfortunately, we have some pet owners that if they can't afford the medicine, if they can't afford the vet bill, they say, let's run down to Walmart and dump the dog. And over a period of time, if they're not fixed, you end up with babies. Last week we took, at an abandoned house, we took a mama dog and 8 of her puppies. And this time next month, they will be in probably Ohio, relocated. They will have forever homes. And so most of these animals can be saved.
So I just want to ask the question, again, just for because I'm not educated on this, I'm learning. So you're not selling these traps, you're willing to come in and teach the city how to build these traps and use them?
That's correct. We currently operate 3 of the deluxe traps that we're going to now.
Mm-hmm.
The electric doors, we have 2 or 3 more Missy traps that work with other trigger mechanisms. We have never charged anyone for doing it. It's a self-funded thing. I'm not a 501c3. I'm just an individual that decided he could help.
And you've had success with these Missy traps in multiple other cities and municipalities, right?
Yes, if you go to misfitshepherds.com, they are the largest German Shepherd consulting rescue in the country. They're now in Camden, South Carolina. They were in McCall, and that's where 2 of my first 2 captures went to them to be decompressed and conditioned to where they could have adopted families again.
Oh, wow.
But they were in the wild for almost 10 months.
And again, so this is just something that you've been successful with, and again, you're willing to, come in at no cost to the city, use your own time to teach us how to build a Missy trap and to use it. 3
weeks ago, I have a cohort in Mississippi under the name on social media called Glory Hound Trapping.
Mm-hmm.
They use the identical equipment. He taught me a lot of what I've learned over there. He's trapped over 350 dogs right now, and this trap can be deployed, and he is caught with some techniques that he uses where he's trapped 3 dogs in one trap at one location in one day.
Wow.
So deploying a couple of traps around the city is not a major expense. We offered almost 3 weeks ago to come down here, work with your ACO officer, loan you a trap without $1 of investment, and never heard back.
That's okay. Well, I'm just thankful that you're here now.
Yeah, we're here now, and so the first thing on your handout are multiple pictures of how we now have the Missy trap, what we use as a go-to thing. This is our main tool. We have 2 of those deployed right now in Springville, like I said. And I think Childersburg right now last week they told me they had 5 of these in inventory, the trap itself, or the kennel. Everything else can be had off of Amazon. I can teach your ACO how to build it. I could build the wiring harness for you without a charge, just for what the parts cost on Amazon. But you have pictures of everything that's associated with the trap, the way we have it modified. We also have in front of City Hall here, next to the wheelchair ramp, I've deployed what we call a bucket trap. A bucket trap is kind of allows the dog to stick his head in a bucket. And when he does, he's going to hit a stick. And when he bumps that stick, a leash essentially will go around his neck. It's adjusted where it cannot strangle the dog. Okay, so it won't go too tight. You're not going to strangle him. But basically, you can catch a dog with a bucket trap in locations where maybe one of these larger traps is not appropriate. You know, we use these in places where the ground's not level. We use it in places where we think maybe somebody might come steal your trap. And but basically, there's some techniques to using any of these tools about trying to help the dog be conditioned to go in the trap. You'll learn a little bit more about that in a little bit. But basically, I'm down here to help you without a charge. We'll work with your ACO and your shelter staff to get control of your problem. And we can do it by phone. I can come down here 2 or 3 days a week probably, you know. We can help. And then when you get it under control, maybe some new ordinances on licensing might be appropriate. We don't have this problem up north, but in states like Alabama, up the road from you right now in Jefferson County is number 2 in the state for euthanasia. They currently put down 44% of their intake, and we think they can do better. And we want to try to help them. We usually on our animals that we capture, try to get them transported to a northern state. It's better. for
So
the
you
dog.
do help with transport as well, to rescue organizations? to
Yeah,
get
there's a
the
lot of
yeah.
them. We hope that y'all will be able to develop more rescues. I have had conversations with one that's not so much a rescue, and the Andalusia, what is it, Avondale, feral animal. They're not really in rescue, but they're very attentive to helping with maybe spay neuter, you know? And so trying to have policies where you can maybe have ivermectin day for low-income people, where you can dispense ivermectin for free. It virtually costs nothing. And having drive-through clinics at your shelter, I could probably go around here and raise the money to buy all the ivermectin for all the dogs in your city.
Well, we're excited, again,
Yeah.
we're excited to have you here just to, you know, to help us and give us some ideas and again, just better educate us on this situation.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is, you know, I think we seen the Missy traps, you know, all over social media. People been talking
Right.
about them, but I think the more exciting part about the Missy trap is actually seeing somebody who was actually rescued from
Right.
one. So we do have a special guest. Yeah.
You're fixing to meet a rock
I
star.
know, we do have a special guest here tonight. I think that's who everybody's here to, oh, yeah, you can, but I think that's who everybody's here to see. But Greer does have a few questions before we get to that part.
Okay.
So, Mr. Randall,
Yeah.
what municipalities have you worked with?
Where am I, what?
What municipalities?
Oh, okay,
Have
as
you
far
worked with?
as historically speaking, we work in Jefferson County, in the unincorporated area.
Hold your microphone up, Mr. Randall, just so we can,
We have been working in the unincorporated area of Jefferson County. We rescue dogs inside the city limits of Bessemer. We are currently working with the animal control officer and the director of public works for the city of Springville on a dog for the last 65, 70 days. We've been in Hueytown. We've been in Harpersville, if you know where that is, up the road here. We worked with Shelby Humane, Miss Kendall Cash, fine lady. We rescued one of their rescue dogs that they've been chasing for about, it was a foster dog actually, and it escaped their foster, and they've been trying to contain it for about a month, and we put a trap up at 12 noon, and they pulled it out of the trap at 8 o'clock that night. We've been all over the county. A lot of our work is in Jefferson County because that's where I live, you know, so it's never-ending battle. We've rescued, I think, 17 dogs on Morgan Road in a 6-block area of Morgan Road investment. Yeah.
So it's my understanding that the city has used traps before, or have tried to use traps before. So what makes this different in how you, I guess the word is lure, a dog into your trap?
Well, I know that you've had people that want to do proposals to come in and do all the work for you. In my world, I try to economize as many dollars as I can, particularly if they're not my dollars. So loaning you a trap and guiding your ACO officer on how he can be effective using it, get dogs to go in the trap, makes sense to me because you already have that payroll already on the books.
She's asking Mr. Randall, what makes your trap different from the traps we're already using?
Oh, okay, well, the brief conversation I had with Brandon, he's the ACO officer for the shelter, he said that he had home built one, I believe, and he said he was still, his words were tweaking it to make it more effective or whatever. I don't know. I've never seen it. Okay, we built our first one patterned exactly off of generation 2 of the Missy trap from the Retrievers organization nationally. They kind of wrote the book on Missy traps. After that time, we wanted greater efficiency. It was taking too long to put it up. You know, the panels don't bolt together like a retriever kennel. And so the retriever kennel has been extremely effective in Mississippi. And so we patterned our next tool of modernization with that trap. It assembles completely the way we have it wired. The wiring harness we're doing, you can with many of the sensor-based triggers, okay? They come from the box, from the factory, and they got a 2-inch by 2-inch trigger reflector. That's where the sensor shoots something across for the dog to break it. Not to get in the weeds on that, but we modified that to where the sensor target is now 4 inches by about 10 inches. So you don't have to struggle to aim it to get it to work, okay? And so it's more forgiving. And so our wiring harness, basically you put something on one side of the trap, you put the sensor box on the other side, and within 5 minutes, you're hooked up to the battery and it's working. And so, but it was kind of like you could use one of mine, not cost you nothing. If you like it, if you can improve on it, that's great. You know, I've done some things from when I got the plan that I thought were a little much of an improvement. And so you're constantly learning, you know, how to be effective.
So I guess and I appreciate your explanation of the trap itself, but I guess what I'm asking is, our shelter has been trying to trap these dogs in some way or fashion with food. I'm assuming food is going to be used in these traps to get them to come into the trap?
Yes, ma'am. There's a certain thing we do before we set the trap. In other words, when I have a call and somebody says, hey, there's a dog down here, can you come trap it? Usually I'm going to request, or pretty big request, to have a food relationship with that dog. In other words, we want that dog to understand that you set up a food station where that dog knows it can come there and eat a meal. We want it to come to that one spot 2 or 3 or 4 times before we set the trap. That kind of conditions the dog till he knows where his food is.
that
Okay.
had helped.
And many of these dogs forage well after dark. You'll catch dogs at 2 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning a lot more than you'll catch a dog at 10 a.m. Okay? My star here tonight rarely came out in the daytime. Okay, but you would see him on camera, on the videos, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, different times of the night. So once we do that, we use, my go-to item is rotisserie chicken, okay? That, most people say that works. Dogs like rotisserie chicken. And I found out that if you are smart and you're in the business I'm in, you can go to Walmart and go to the back and you can buy almost any time you want rotisserie chickens for $2. Because they put them at the hot box up front for 4 hours and they haul them in the back, put them in a cooler, and they mark them down. So if I'm using 4, 5, 6 chickens in 1 week, why would I want to pay $7? In my case, I'm trying to save money.
I do have a question. I feel like I'm learning something tonight. So I do have a question. So again, these traps have cameras on them. So how far, like if you set a trap and we are trying to catch a dog, like how far, like what's the radius on that camera? Because even if the dog doesn't come to the trap right then, I guess you can see where he's going. And I guess if we need to, we can move it. Like what's the?
We normally aim the camera at the trap door so we can see the dog go in when the door closes.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it if it's over here 500 feet.
Okay.
Because he's gonna smell, they get really good smellers. And, but the camera at a distance probably will deploy, it'll probably do a detection at 400 or 500 feet. And you can set it for miniature movies or just still shots. The brand I'm using. It's very inexpensive to buy the camera. The unlimited subscription for cameras, probably under $125. If you have multiple cameras, you get significant discounts on multiple cameras. And we're currently using, right now, we're using 3 cameras. And so, all in all, if you can find a better way to trap an animal humanely, you don't need me. I'm not asking for a contract. I'm sitting there saying, hey, I'm trying to come down here and do this for nothing.
So we appreciate that.
And so on the front door, if you have your ACO tomorrow, or if you want to look at what the bucket trap looks like, I put one out in front of City Hall. It's ready to go. It would catch a dog right now. And it's a gift to the city. I'm not taking it home.
Thank
So
you.
your ACO can collect it tomorrow, and he could drive it in the ground tomorrow, and I would say he could probably catch a dog with it. The dog does not have to even go in a trap. And I can't tell you how many dogs we have had on video on Nextdoor. They've got their heads stuck in a bucket or stuck in a jar. Okay? That happens all the time. And if a dog can stick his head in a Lowe's 5-gallon bucket and get him a piece of rotisserie chicken, okay, without going in a trap, you catch you a dog just as easy. And we've not had one. I have one midget dog that the trap wasn't too effective on, but most of the dogs you're after have got a neck long enough to be trapped. Okay. I believe I was listening to the mayor. Good to see you, sir. He's got a pet, and he loves his animal. Many of these animals are just like your dog. They found themselves through no fault of their own on your street. And they deserve a chance from our perspective. We hope you'll give them a chance with a humane thing and not foot traps, because they're inhumane. Darting could be extremely dangerous out on your roadway. I'm leaving you behind 2 things to read, kind of like homework assignment. One is on the morbidity rate that centers on the dangers to the dog of chemical capture, aka darting, or chemical immobilization. The second one has to do with dangers inherently to the public and personnel. The drugs are very potent, and a dog that blitzes across in flight mode, they take off, fight or flight, and they run into Highway 280, creates a vehicular probability that you don't want to be associated with. If somebody swerves to avoid that dog and somebody else is harmed, we'll have to work really hard to get you out of trouble, okay? So we want it done safely for the public, we want it safely for the people, we don't want it, I couldn't get liability insurance back when I thought I wanted one. I couldn't find an insurance company that would insure me for the liability of using it. And I just really couldn't afford to run naked without that coverage. So we look for ways that are gonna protect the dog. And I thank you for your time. That's everything I've got. If you got any more questions, but I would like to introduce my partner in crime.
All right, let me make sure, do you guys have any more questions for Mr.
No.
Randall before we do that?
He was very thorough.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Mayor,
Randall.
do you have one you said?
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just, I've been sitting here enjoying, I don't know your dog's name. Our dog's name is Bella.
Okay.
And, Bella is what we call a Walmart dog.
Okay.
And the scenario that you described earlier is what played out about 4 years ago in order for us to have Bella.
Mm-hmm.
A family, took their puppies to our animal shelter. And it's always full. And so they were turned away. And so instead of that, the heroes in this story is the family, because they didn't go dump the puppies. They went to Walmart, the parking lot, and started giving the puppies away free. And I'm very proud of our two sons because they got the brunt of the litter. Bella, she's been the best pet that we've ever had, but I hate to turn I need to ask you more of a business question, because you brought up insurance. Are you and your team, are y'all bonded?
No. I'm just an individual, and what we do, we're working with a trap. It can't reach out and grab you.
Yes.
Okay, in other words, somebody could run their car into my trap, okay? We could put reflectors on it and kind of help people notice it, but basically, we're not using a tool that has a risk associated with it. Yeah.
It's on your team, are there any vets on your team?
No. What I envision here is what my cohort in Mississippi said. You don't need us. You don't need to give us a contract. If I was making money, I could buy all the insurance in the world, okay? I'm only here as an advisory to the people you already have in that position. You have an animal control officer. You have a shelter. And they're very capable, and they're probably covered for what they do. We're just here as an advisory sense, and if you want to be up to speed on Missy Trap, you don't want to spend 10 days building it, okay? I'll bring you one. You can use it as long as you need it, okay? All right, if I need another one, I'll go raise some money and get another one.
Well, I definitely appreciate you being here and sharing. It's obvious you have the heart for this.
Well, I appreciate that.
Passion for it. And if not, I don't think we'd be able to enjoy what we're about to enjoy.
Yeah.
But,
You're gonna meet Wally Fair. Wally is a product of, indirectly, I guess, Walmart. And this young lady's tenacity, like, I'm convinced that I'm doing on the right road, okay?
Yes.
But you're fixing to move, as far as people being convinced of paying a price
Yeah.
to save one dog,
Yeah.
you're gonna meet Jasmine, and I'll turn that over to her.
Yeah.
And I thank y'all so much for letting me come,
Yeah.
okay? And just tell you a little bit about what I'm learning every day, I'm not the Einstein. Okay?
Well, we do appreciate
But
you,
I
thank
I thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, I've been saying your name backwards all week, and you haven't even corrected me. I've been saying it backwards all week.
I got two first names, nobody spells my last name correctly, so you're right there with the rest of America.
Well, thank you so much, we do appreciate you. So, I don't know if you want to introduce Jasmine and Wally, or you want me to?
You have at it.
All right, so guys, we are gonna introduce our special guests tonight. We have Jasmine Lawson and Wally.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and I'm here tonight because of this dog, Wally. Wally was a stray dog that I spotted back in January living behind Walmart on Highway 280 in Hoover. For 71 days, I tracked him, I fed him, and I studied his patterns. Some people said he was feral. They said he would never trust humans and that I would never catch him. But today, Wally is part of my family. He is so very gentle, loving, and most importantly, safe. The reason I'm sharing his story tonight is because I want you guys to understand something very, very important. Survival behavior is not the same as being feral. Many stray dogs aren't aggressive or dangerous, they're just scared. Many were like Wally. They were pets that most of them lived in homes, they were dumped, and they were forced to survive outside on their own. During the hunt for Wally, I was offered the option of darting. And trust me, after 71 days, I was more than ready for this to be over. He's pulling me back. I did lots of research and cried many nights over this decision. But at the end of the day, my heart simply could not take the risk. Darting is not a simple solution. It's not what you see in the movies. When you dart a dog, sedation can take 5 to 15 minutes to fully take effect. During this time, the dog can panic, run into traffic, creating not just danger for themselves, but danger for the public as well. They can also retreat to the woods, fall asleep, and become vulnerable to predators. There's also no perfect dosage when it comes to darting a dog. There are so many factors that affect sedatives, such as weight, health, stress levels, dehydration, adrenaline. Too little may not safely sedate the dog, while too much can be fatal. Even if a dog survives darting physically, the experience alone can create long-lasting emotional trauma. That is why I chose humane trapping for Wally. It gave me the opportunity to keep him safe physically and slowly gain my trust instead of fear. I understand the situation in Sylacauga is overwhelming and you guys want results, but I truly believe your community should be known for compassion, patience, and humane action, especially when it comes to dogs that have no voice and can't speak for themselves. I am more than willing to help out in any way you guys need, whether that be educating the community on humane trapping or even coming here and setting up misty traps myself. These dogs deserve the opportunity to be assessed, treated, rehabilitated, and given another chance at life. Because I look at Wally, and he was once considered just another stray dog too. And tonight, he sits here beside me as living proof that persistence, love, and humane trapping, it all really works. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
I don't have any. I'm usually one to like to take pictures of our special guests, but I'm also afraid. So I don't know if Wally is up for that, for us to get a picture with him.
Absolutely.
And I'll just stand in the back.
Okay.
All right.
He would love that.
Did Wally have any health issues when you finally were able to get him?
No,
to
so
see what he did?
like I said, I spotted him in January and then I trapped him at day 71. I took him to the vet immediately. I scanned him for a microchip and he had one, which was shocking.
Wow.
And his microchip, they called the microchip company, and they had a privacy policy on it where only a vet could call. The vet called, they got the owner's information, called the owner. She couldn't have cared less. She said she rescued him in 2022. She moved out of state in 2023 and rehomed him, but she had no contact info for who she rehomed him to. She asked no questions like, why was he found at Walmart? Is he okay? Nothing. So we reached out to the rescue and they transferred the ownership to me, and I took him home to foster him, and I adopted him, I think 2 Saturdays ago. But at the vet, He didn't even have fleas.
Wow.
Heart were negative, great eyes, great ears, great joints, and he's 4 years old.
It sounds like you and Wally were meant to be together. I said, just listening to you, I can tell he's been through a lot, but like Mr. Randall said, now he's living his best life.
Oh, he gave me a run for my money over those 71 days, boy, and now he's living the life of luxury, for sure.
And we do appreciate you guys for coming out. Just like, thank you so much. Like, this is very much appreciated just for coming to share you guys' story with
Absolutely,
us.
and like I said, I am more than willing to help with anything you guys need. I mean, I learned so much over those 71 days that I can help any way you guys need.
So we will, before you leave, we would like to get your contact information, because again, like I said, we do have some other, I think a couple other people that would like to come before the council, and we are trying to just go through every option. Like, we don't want to leave any stone unturned, because again, I think the biggest thing on this matter is just us being educated so we can make the best decision possible on behalf of
Absolutely.
everybody. So again, thank you so much for coming out and sharing your story, and if it is okay, we would like to get a picture with Wally.
Yes, absolutely, and thank you so much for allowing him to come with me today.
Good job, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Randall. Save my brother.
It was nice to meet you guys. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much. No, give us a pass.
Okay. Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing him to come tonight. Thank you.
Okay, guys, too, I also forgot to mention, we do have a public hearing, so we do have to start at 6 o'clock. So even if we're in the work session, we'll have to pause the work session and start just for the public hearing. Are you gonna, you wanna take a 5-minute break on that? Y'all ready? All right, so guys, we're gonna take a 5-minute break, just after all that excitement, just take a quick restroom break. Guys, I just want to let everybody know, I don't know if we have any new people that just came in. We are having a public hearing tonight, so we do have a sign-in sheet. So please make sure you sign in if you have not already.
So now we're going to.
All right, it's 5:43. We're gonna continue our work session. The next item on the agenda is discussion that is necessary by Executive Director Brian Tone regarding a Commercial Development Authority recommendation on a memorandum related to new businesses whose sales meet or exceed 50% for tobacco, vape, and alcohol, excluding restaurants or food services establishment whose sale of alcohol products are secondary to the sale of prepared food. You doing all right tonight, Brian?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good, welcome.
We've got, of course, the memorandum is complete. I believe you each have a copy of it. Both attorneys, Brian Cash and Win Livingston, have gone over this, and they said it was ready to go. So I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions regarding this, and then hopefully we can, the next meeting, we can put this to a vote. I'm not sure, does there have to be an announcement on this, Cassie?
If it's a resolution, it would not have to be publicized, but if it is an ordinance, we'll have to publicize.
If you, either way, one thing to pay attention is the memorandum, just for legal reasons, we thought it would be best to just put it in place for a year, so it will have to be renewed annually.
So Cassie, that means it wouldn't be an ordinance then, if it's not gonna be it will be a resolution, because it's
Right.
not gonna be a permanent, it's not of a permanent nature. Okay, all right, well, I don't, but if I do, have some, Brian, I'll just give you a call personally.
Yeah, call me or email me or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, and I think Wayne's here tonight, do you have anything to add as far as this?
I've talked to Brian Cash, and what Brian has stated is correct for both. Brian is more of an expert, we're all on the vote.
Yeah, and we basically went over it when we did the little temporary thing, so it's just more of a permanent nature for it, well, not permanent, but for a year.
Everything you guys agreed on that night is what's here.
Okay, all right.
That was my question, if you talked to Wynn and Brian, and I wanted to have their input.
Yeah.
All right, Greer, you have anything?
I do not, I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I'd like to read over it and have a chance to
Sure.
call with any questions.
And then too, Brian, it may be to where we may just have to discuss it next time. We just discuss it, and Nate should be here too as well. So we may not, just depending on what questions arise, if everybody looks over and everybody agrees, because we've already basically went over it.
Right.
It's,
But-
and you know what, it's not really that big a deal because we're still under that hold.
Mhm.
We've still got actually, I think now we're down to about 3 months. But, you know, we've got a lot of other stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So the sooner we get this off our table, the
Yeah.
better.
And I just wanna make sure, just if some questions come up, but if everybody reads over it, it's what we remember, it's what we understand, then we can move forward to the next meeting. But if there are some questions, you know me, I wanna just make sure we
Sure.
discuss them as a whole.
Good deal.
Cause somebody may ask a question I didn't even think to ask.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Next item, discussion that is necessary by interim city clerk treasurer Cassie Epperson regarding grant funding awarded to the city of Sylacauga from American 250AL for the project named Marble City Salutes America 250 mural grant application and project oversight by Sylacauga Chamber of Commerce. Vote would authorize grant award to be passed through the Sylacauga Chamber of Commerce to facilitate fulfillment of said project named in a grant. So this is just basically telling us that we were awarded the grant, Cassie.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there any matching funds that has to go with this? Or we're basically just gonna accept the grant and then just pay it through the chamber?
Pass it through.
All right, do you guys have any questions regarding this?
No.
All right, next item, it says discussion that is necessary by Council Member Heath regarding take-home vehicles. Laura, you do have the floor.
Okay, I've had several constituents approach me about our take-home vehicles, and with gas prices rising currently, and I mean, they're continuing to rise, we're looking probably at close to $5 a gallon towards the middle of the summer. What is our approach to it? How are we handling it? And are we capping, you know, the mileage from City Hall to homes that our vehicles are traveling on the taxpayers' dime?
If I'm not mistaken, it's been under a year, Cassie. I don't think it was with this council, but didn't we put something in place as far as take-home vehicles? So there was only certain people who were allowed to take, cars home, and I think that would exclude the police department.
There was an action that was done previously, but there was a take-home car policy that was instituted with the police department after that time. So that's the figures that you have in front of you now.
All right.
That's what they were doing.
So, you know, it was suggested maybe 25 miles from City Hall to home and capping it at that to where, because we're looking at, you know, again, gas going up, and then you're thinking of wear and tear beyond 25 miles daily. What is the longest distance we have from City Hall to, that they're driving it? Do we know?
I do not have that in front of me right now. I had put in that there were a total of 3 vehicles that travel over 25 miles of the total number of 33 that take.
How many of the 33 were police officers though?
Only one was police officer and 2 was fire department.
Do we have the mileage for the fire department?
I don't have it
Okay.
in this.
So 33 employees in total take home vehicles.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had asked today, and I hope we will be able to have that information for next council, to have the budget of how much money we are budgeted for fuel, where we stand currently year to date. You have that information?
That's
Okay.
gonna be the second sheet that you have,
Okay.
as our gas and oil budget. And it shows that we are
Well, under the budget?
well under our budget.
But is that from January till now, or from October till now? From,
October till now.
Okay.
That's what that reflects. It also gave you fiscal year 24 and 25 for you to be able to see it.
and with the fire department, is that just the 2 take-home vehicles, or is that for the engines and everything that's listed on here?
No, ma'am, I did not include all of the vehicles that are used. It's only take home. So those are the ones that drive from work to home. We have several more vehicles used throughout our street department.
So, but the fuel budget is all inclusive though, doesn't matter? Okay,
Yeah.
that's everything,
When you mean all-inclusive, you mean,
for every
for all
vehicle,
the vehicles?
yeah, for every vehicle, lawnmower, all that.
So we've spent $11,000 on gas for vehicles that are traveling beyond 25 miles, okay. Plus, I wonder what the figure is in the police department for the one vehicle traveling over 25 miles. I'm curious what we're spending on that.
How would you get that information, Laura?
They usually have a breakdown. Y'all can get a breakdown of each.
I can, but I will say this, when you have police department vehicles, they're also traveling to the Talladega County Jail.
Yeah, so it's hard to, yeah, that would be harder, yeah.
Also too, Cassie, I think the ones that are going, over the, over the
25
the
miles.
25 miles, we need to see the mileage on those vehicles.
Yeah.
And also too, because I'm pretty sure maintenance is playing a part in that too, because if they're driving further, then those vehicles are gonna come out of rotation sooner, quicker.
All right.
So, one of those two vehicles that are in the fire, that is also the control vehicle where he mans everything from the vehicle, correct?
I do believe it has a.
So it's a working vehicle
Yes.
as well.
But
So
if-
he can operate his needs from that vehicle.
I
But-
think though that the captain's truck has the same capability too as the command vehicle, right?
As far as I know,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Hold on, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that, it doesn't work over a certain amount of miles, it doesn't come into play until you reach a certain point within the city, or is that not right?
Not necessarily, no ma'am. Their radio range may be a little different, but the system itself will still pick up calls and et cetera, and it'll still operate. So it may be out of radio range.
Okay, all right, so this is, just wanna make sure we're all on the same page, so there's a few things we wanna request. So we do wanna know, the total cost of gas on the vehicles that are going over the 25 miles out of the city. We do wanna know the year those vehicles were purchased, and we wanna know the mileage on those vehicles. Also, we should have a dollar amount on maintenance too as well,
Yeah.
right? Do you guys agree?
Yes.
So again, I just want to point out to everyone here tonight that is here, we have a budget for fuel and gas and oil expense of $106,590. That is our budget for the police department. Our fire department budget for gas and oil is $24,000. The 7th-month budget is $62,177.50, and the actual is $36,755. The budget for fire department, for 7 months is $14,000. The 7-month actual is $11,064. So I hope that puts you in some perspective of the money that we're talking about and what the council people are asking.
Yeah, because for 2 vehicles, that's a lot in gas.
That's not just the 2 vehicles.
No, on the bottom, I'm talking about on the bottom though, for just the 2 vehicles, 11,000
No,
is a.
They've said that was gas and fuel and oil.
That would be the engines.
Oh, it is the engines, okay, because that's what I asked her,
That's
yeah,
everything.
okay.
The number of take-home vehicles, I apologize,
You're asking
gas
for
and oil
that.
budget will be all inclusive.
Okay.
So you're asking them to pull all that out.
All right, y'all have any more questions on that?
No.
All right, okay, so we can hopefully get that at the next meeting, please. All right, thank you. All right, thanks, Laura. All right. Next on the, agenda is discussion and a possible related vote. Discussion that is necessary by Council President Pro Tem Vincent regarding animal control ordinances, potential revision and their enforcement.
So, I'm trying to,
If I can, I just want to remind you, you've got 5 minutes until.
Thank you so much.
you want to wait after?
You can start, but, hold on, let me see what else we got on here.
Why don't we go to,
Hold on, let me see. All right, so we got, discussion and related vote, discussion that is necessary regarding a resolution related to a budget amendment to authorize funds from the general fund and authorizing the mayor to execute any potential contracts related to addressing animal control options along the Highway 280 corridor. And if I'm not mistaken, this doesn't even need to be discussed, and this contract was, rescinded too, right?
We never entered into the contract, that the offer was rescinded.
I know it, but we couldn't enter into it anyway because we didn't vote to enter into a contract.
No, ma'am.
All right, so this one will be taken off, and what number is this on the agenda, Cassie? I see, I think it's number 12. All right, so number 12 is coming off of the agenda. And then we also have discussion that is necessary regarding Mayor Hubbard's veto of resolution 52-2026. And that is, and for, I guess those of you that don't know how this worked, we did, pass a resolution that we're requesting that all department heads to be at the work session, and that was voted and passed. It was a 3-2, and the mayor vetoed it, so we're gonna, take action and vote on that again. I think any actions, I don't think it can be vetoed but once, so that is number 10 on the agenda, and that is up for another, vote
Will
tonight.
we be able to vote on that with Nate not being here?
Yeah, I mean, Nate knew what was on the agenda. All right. Okay, and we're gonna, it is 5:57, and we're gonna pause the work session and come back to number 6 once we, start the council meeting and, start the public hearing, because we do have to start at 6 p.m. And just make sure again, guys, we are having a public hearing tonight, so we do have a sign sheet. We are asking everyone to sign in if you have not already. So again, we do have a sign-in sheet. So that's the only thing that was left on the work session. I guess we did pretty good.
So we're going back to discuss this resolution
Hmm?
when we come back.
Yeah, we have to start at 6 o'clock. There's no point in starting it with, 2 minutes left, and then we'll just start it all back over again. So anytime we have a public hearing, it's been advertised, we have to start the meeting on time.
When you enter back into the work session, it'll be to discuss the resolution, not the resolution, but the ordinances and laws with.
Yeah. That's not on here. I see you got discussion and related vote. That's not right, Cassie? We're not, that should just only say discussion only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. Just want to correct that too, guys. It is discussion only. We're not voting on anything as far as the 280 corridor tonight. All right. And I'm assuming everybody that's sitting here wants to be in here. There's nobody outside in the hallway. All right, it's 6 p.m. We're gonna go ahead and call the council meeting to order. Gonna do a roll call vote. Greer Bisignani, I'm here. Nate Brewer is absent. Tim Vincent,
Here.
Laura Heath.
Here.
Invocation was provided by Councilman Bisignani. Prior to the work session, now we're gonna stand for the pledge. Do you have a report for us tonight, Mayor Hubbard?
First, I want to welcome everyone tonight, especially our guests, for being here. Welcome to America's Marble City. I hope you've enjoyed your time here in Sylacauga. I hope that you've been able to get out and about and see our city and maybe grab a bite to eat, do a little shopping, something like that. But also want to wish or hope for our visitors safe travels back home as well. All right. 280 east and west signal sensors. They've been working on them the last 3 days. Maybe you've seen them out on Highway 280. So that work should be, if it's not completed today, should be completed by the end of the week. Just want to let everyone know we'll probably need to do this in June. We have several local high school or Sylacauga High School state recognitions for spring sports, and would like to ask that we do that in June. Soccer, I mean, you can just go down the list. We've had a lot of, one of our coaches, Coach of the Year for public schools and soccer, so got a good deal of recognitions to come, and even our neighbors in Fayetteville, that's where Navy is right now, actually, helping coach in that state championship game, and if they win tonight, they'll win the 1A state championship in baseball, so we wish them well. Street department got our flags up along Highway 280 today and downtown. Hopefully you saw them, and of course they'll stay up through Independence Day and 4th of July. Want to let you know the new tractor for street department that we're sharing with the airport. Normally when they shared equipment, it would take about 10 days to get the grass cut out at the airport. Well, with the new tractor, that shaved about 3 days off. It's down to 7 days. So that's 3 more days we have out in the community, in the city. So I thought that was really good. Of course, some of you have already seen this. You know, we've got our landscaping contract with David DeWeese, and one of the first things he did was clear out the corner there by CVS. So, you know, that was a public safety issue there, blocking views at that intersection. So, and I know that's gonna, it will eventually look a lot better than it does right now. You've got to begin at that point. Had a fantastic, I see Mr. Randy here tonight. We had a fantastic grand opening of our courtside park. I don't know who all was there. The first tournament was every court was filled. So that was just great to see, and I know that's going to be a great gathering point to build community within our community. So looking forward to what all that brings as well. This morning we had the grand opening of our Goodwill store, and anyone who was there today, that place was packed. You couldn't find a parking spot. Yeah, you couldn't get in. I had to park around on the other side of Pizza Hut. So, I mean, it was a great grand opening. If you can, I would encourage everyone to get by there. They've got some really good stuff in there, and it's really well organized too. I was really impressed with that. Of course, before I leave, I want to wish Calvin Miller a happy retirement. As a lot of folks who are normally at these meetings are actually at his retirement party right now across the street. So 36 years with the Talladega County Economic Development Authority, and is responsible for, gosh, well, I think it was well over $4.3 billion of economic development during his tenure. And I can't remember the number of jobs. It's just in the thousands. So just very impressive, and want to wish Calvin just the happiest of retirements. And we want to wish everyone, Sylacauga family, a safe and happy Memorial Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hubbard. I entertain a motion to amend the agenda, removing item number 12.
I make a motion.
First of all, does anybody have the minutes from last week's? I don't see see it in here.
We do, and, Cassie, that is another thing, thank you for bringing it up too, Greg, they're wrong. So we're gonna, have to take this off, thank you, because when we switch the work session, thank you. All right,
So
So-
we're removing 7.
yeah, we're moving 7 and number 12, thank you, Greg. All right, I need a motion to amend the agenda, removing item number 7 and item number 12.
Motion.
Do we need to remove the work session minutes as well on 8?
It's the,
Yes, we need to remove the work session minutes as well.
all right. So I need a motion to amend the agenda, removing items number 7, 8, and 12. I need a motion.
Motion.
All right, by Greer, need a second.
Second.
Laura, all in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Motion passes, okay? Old business, public hearing is now open to consider annexation of the property located at 3601 Old Sylacauga Highway, Alabama 35150, to be zone AG-2. Please come forward with any comments. Something's left off of this,
And it's AG1.
AG. Something's left off of this too, though. And Cassie, you have the document to read into the minutes, right? You have,
We do have.
all right, so we do have it, and we're not gonna read it into the minutes, but if anybody wants to, take a look at it, you can get with our interim city clerk and, take a look at that. So let me start over. I knew that's the, item that was missing to say that. All right, public hearing is now open to consider annexation of the property located at 3601 Old Sylacauga Highway, Sylacauga, Alabama 35150, to be zone AG-2. And again, our interim city clerk does have that document if you would like to take a,
It's AG1.
AG1.
I keep saying 2, AG-1. I just want it to be 2, darling. All right, so now, again, the floor is open. We're asking for anyone to please come forward with any comments stating your name and address for the record. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. Groups presented or supporting the same or similar options are limited to 1 representative per speaker. So now again, the floor is open for public comments for anyone who would like to, speak on this. And again, this is about the, property at 3601 Old Sylacauga Highway, and it's being zoned to AG-2. AG-1, I keep saying 2. Did you say somebody was coming up?
I think
We thought somebody was.
So is there anyone who would like to come up and speak on this property being zoned to AG-1? Is there anyone? All right, going once, going twice? All right, we're gonna close the, public hearing. All right, so if to be considered at this, meeting, I am gonna need an introduction by a council member.
I'll introduce.
All right. If to take action at this meeting, I need a motion to suspend the rules and give immediate consideration.
I make
Motion.
I got Tim, second.
second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Okay, it is unanimous. I need a motion by a council member to approve.
Motion.
Let's do it again. I heard you guys at the same time. I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Laura, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. So Cassie, do you think we could just go ahead and work through this and then go back to the work session?
if that's the way you want, that would be fine.
All right, okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So next item on the agenda, action that is necessary to override the mayor's veto of resolution 52-2026. That is, asking that all asking that all department heads or representative from each department be present at each work session. I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Tim? Yes or
Yes.
no? Yes, all right, and I'm a yes. So that's a 3-1. All right, motion passes. All right, next item, action that is necessary to approve.
Madam
What did
I'm
you
sorry.
say?
I'm sorry, what?
It has to be 4 votes to override.
It has to be, but we don't, it has to be a,
Doesn't matter.
yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You kills me changing the rules and interrupting the meeting. Yes, you are. This is what we have. We have a quorum. 3 is a quorum of 4.
Yes, but if there's a quorum, it still has to be 4.
That's not true. Well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it this way, and I'm pretty sure you'll bring the laws and the rules to the next meeting to show me different, and if what you, alright, well, you should have presented, and if what you say is true, then we'll vote on it again. But please don't interrupt the meeting. Alright, next item, action that is necessary to approve resolution 54-2026 to authorize East Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission to submit the fiscal year 27 grant application for the transit program. I need a motion? I need a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Motion passes. We remove number 12. Next item, action that is necessary to remit $2,500 in grant awarded funds to the Sylacauga Chamber of Commerce for the facilitation of the Marble City Salutes American 250 mural grant project. I need a motion? Second?
Second.
Sorry, Kim.
Real.
You, Laura, second? All in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Motion passes. Next item, action that is necessary to approve accounts payable
We haven't
invoice.
discussed it.
Ah,
We have not discussed the accounts payable.
And I have questions
I
on
have
that.
questions.
alright, so Cassie, we are gonna, push this one to the next meeting, okay?
Why can we not go back to work session? So we're not going back to work session at all?
We are going back to work session, but we're still not gonna, what are the things that we had that we were gonna, take off? Cause Laura, you also had a question about,
Yes, okay, you want me to go ahead and ask about?
yeah, so hold on, so this is what we're gonna do. We are gonna go back to the work session, but I do think this needs to be, put off to the next meeting. Cause Laura has some questions about the accounts payable, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there are some questions about, the accounts payable, and it's not, is this gonna affect anything from being paid if we push it to the next meeting?
There's several things that it was.
So can we take off just certain items off of it?
Now, hold on, so this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna pause the council meeting, we're gonna have to do it like this, I guess we're doing it like this tonight just because we had the, public hearing, so we're gonna pause the council meeting at 6:13. We're gonna pause it at 6:13 so we can go back into the work session. You got that wrote down, Cassie? Alright, so we're pausing the council meeting, and we're gonna go back into the work session. So picking back up at the work session is discussion that is necessary by Council President Pro Tem Vincent regarding animal control ordinances, potential revision of their enforcement.
So, I've been looking at some of the ordinance we have, and I got a lot of questions myself that we can't, we're not gonna get them all answered tonight. But, animal control officer in the city, this is just questions that I have. What authority does the animal control officer have that works for the shelter, to go and remove animals on private property? Cause when I worked at the police department, the animal control officer was under the police department. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, the animal control officer is under the the animal shelter, correct?
Yes, that's right, Tim.
And, my thing last meeting, when I said the city and, council, mayor, everybody, including everybody, kicking the can down the road for years. So I watched the 2016 council meeting, and it made me think, I was sitting in that council meeting and we just did it. It's all the same. Same questions, same gripes, same fusses, and nothing's been done. Not a thing has changed from 16 to now. So we need to get with those people. Some of those people, I think one of them's in here tonight, that was in that meeting. And we need to get with people of the city, and we need to sit down and have a discussion of what we can do, propose, to try to help this animal situation out. Because we trap them all now, they're gonna be right back.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with a solution and act on it, not talk about it. And I think if we get solutions, we can act on it and have it done.
Well, Well, there are solutions that are immediate,
Yes.
and there are solutions that we need to put in, work towards, right?
Yes.
And there are solutions that we need to make permanent,
Yes,
right?
correct.
So it's a phase. And so, this situation we find ourselves in now is to, act on the issues that are facing us right now with the, case out in Walmart and,
Yes.
and Publix and Hobby Lobby and every other, and Home Depot. And we wanna make it the most humane. And I think we've all heard enough from our citizens that they believe we need to do it in the most humane way possible.
So, I mean, it wouldn't bother me to set up a meeting with citizens and us, to discuss and even print off all the ordinances we have, go over them. Let's talk about, well, we need to change this, we need to add this.
So, first of all, lots of people wanna say spade and neuter and, registration of dogs and a lot of things that are great things to do as a society, right?
Yes.
But is it the city responsibility to, can we enforce that?
Yes.
Can we enforce people, can we
So-
force people to register their dogs?
So it sounds like, this is what it sounds like, guys, so this is the first thing we need to do, so Cassie, can, you get us a copy of the ordinance that we have in place now?
It's here.
So, alright, so this is what we need to do, we need to just go over the ordinance that we have in place now. And the ordinance that we have now, is it just about the enforcement, or does it include what the animal control, the ACO can and can't do?
So between your city ordinances and your state law, it answers both of those questions.
Alright, so this is what we need to do, so this is what we need to discuss, we need to go, take a look at this, make our notes, and I'm pretty sure, was this put out as well to the public? Cause I think that's what Tim is, asking, you wanna make sure everybody has access to this so they can take a look at it. Alright, so we just need to take a look at this, go over it, and set up a time to discuss it. Of course, we do have to fix the situation we're in right now, but we do have to be proactive and fix the situation so we don't end up back in it again.
Correct.
Alright, so we do have this, so I guess at the next meeting, we'll be prepared to,
Well, Doug, do you think you need to get all this information in front of the public?
Yeah.
this should've went out, this goes out to the public when the agenda goes out. And I'm pretty sure you shared it,
I didn't share.
you didn't share it this time?
Well, we can make some copies, if we have a meeting, we can actually make some copies so everybody that comes will have one. And that way, you're not having to search your phone.
But that's the thing though, Tim, if we do it that way, and I get it, we do need to hear from the public, I mean, we do need to hear from the public, and everybody needs to just know what's going on, and we just need to be better educated on it, but for us to print this out and then hand it out and then have a discussion, we'll never get anywhere.
I didn't wanna have a
Yeah,
discussion
well-
at the council meeting. at a
Yeah,
council
Could we do
meeting.
a special work
I wanted
session
to do
about
a
it?
discussion with us sitting here, not in a council meeting.
But guys too, y'all do
Like a
know,
town hall?
y'all do know that all this stuff is available to the public. Like, they
Yes.
can come and, fill out a Freedom of Information Act, and they can get anything that's been put in place, anything that we've signed, all rules, regulations. They can even, get a copy of council meetings, work session, all the way back from way back when. So we do wanna make sure everybody does know they do have access to everything that we do have.
Yeah, to make it known, I don't wanna do this in a council meeting setting. I wanna do this in a setting where we all just come together and brainstorm. I mean, I'll even set up a whiteboard and start, like I used to do at Hunter, when you was talking about it, and discuss it.
Maybe we should do this, Tim.
Like a town hall?
Yeah, or maybe we should just, I don't know, figure out a way for everybody to put their questions and concerns, I don't know, in a box, and then we address them and go over. But I do think I just don't think we're gonna, me personally, I just don't think we're gonna get anywhere if we just have a room full of people trying to figure something out.
What about like having a representative from the shelter, from the Avondale Feral Dogs Association, like having certain, like representatives from the rescue groups, that just to speak on behalf of that group, and then that would kind of limit, confusion and not getting anywhere. You just have one representative of each group coming forward to speak and voicing, their group's concerns and what they would like to see.
I don't see an issue with that, and right now, people are available to do that right now at the end of the, council meetings, but I think what we're doing now, just by bringing in, Mr. Winston Randall, you know, bringing in these people hearing from us, so we can just better get educated on the situation. I think the mayor has somebody he wants to bring in to discuss some options as well at the next, work session, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think right now we do need to just gather all the information we can, just so we can just be better educated on how we can move forward. Because right now, to be honest, guys, we're winging it. We're not experts on this.
No, we're not.
So let's just get all the information we can and then come up with a plan on how we're gonna handle this. Because right now, all we're doing is listening. We're listening, we're taking notes, we're gathering information. We're not voting on anything. We're not taking any action. We're not entering into any contracts. Right now, we're in the information phase.
And, I was looking at several other cities. A lot of cities have animal shelter oversight boards. They're not there, they're there to bring back to us. They would fix these issues. They would be in conjunction with the animal shelter. And I think that might be a route that we should look into going as well. They're not over the animal shelter, but they're there to bring back information to us and to brainstorm these type of things. So,
Can you share what municipality you're speaking?
Huntsville, there's several others, I can't remember off the top of my head, cause I went through so many of them. But Huntsville's, I really like theirs because they're not there to boss, you know, to be the boss of the animal shelter. They're there to assist and to come up with solutions that we're trying to find, and then they present it to us. Like they work with the shelter, they work with the rescue groups, and I know one of the cities, it may have been Albertville, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that I looked at, they had like a veterinarian on that board, they had a rescue group member, they had a member of the shelter, they had volunteer, you know, people who had vested interest in the shelter and its operations, they had a county commissioner.
We probably do need to look into something like that. Cassie, do you mind trying to see what information you can find on that? Because I do know that anytime a board is in place, it is the governing body. So that would, like, I don't even know if we would be able to do something like that in Sylacauga, but just see what something like that would look like.
And the mayor is a part of it as well, because he's the figurehead. So
Yeah.
I just think that would help in the long run. Just when I was researching how to fix our problems, I thought that might be a route that we want to look into. And I will send you, Cassie, everything that I've saved on it, and I'll send you, I've got a list of the cities, I just can't remember off the top of my head right now, so.
Yeah, I got a whole list of ideas, not anything I want to do, I got a whole list of ideas. And some people might think one of them's good, and we can actually go look at that. But I got a whole list of ideas, and that's a pretty good idea there.
And
So
we may
what
have.
what is the goal though to get, we're basically the county shelter. We are the county shelter.
Yes,
Talladega City
yes,
is a
we are,
town, and we're the shelter for the
yes,
county.
we are.
So.
And I got that wrote down too.
We have no financial support other than a very small amount from Talladega County for spade and neuter, and I believe they give money to feral dogs as well. And then we give money to feral dogs. And then our budget for the animal shelter is how much? Anybody know?
Close to $500,000.
Close to $500,000.
Yeah, it's very close.
Close to $500,000 for a population of 12,000 residents.
Yeah.
And
We have a bigger issue.
Yes.
And I also have a question on what are our boundaries of going out to check on animals? Like, let's say, is it just within?
70% of the dogs that our ACO brings in are from the county. 70% is from the county.
So do we have a boundaries that we stop? Like,
No,
can we enforce boundary? Can we? So you can't, so we have to go out to the county, like what if Coosa County calls us, do we have to go?
I know no legal obligation, but if you're asking if we picked animals up in Coosa County, the answer is yes.
I know we've gone to Childersburg, because she's actually shared that.
Have they not been to Coosa? In Coosa?
Yes.
Yeah.
the other management used to at the shelter, but it has probably not been done since Stephanie has taken over.
So our animal control officer goes to Sylacauga, and they got one? Or do they just bring?
They don't have one.
They got an animal control officer.
Oh, they have an animal control, but they don't have a shelter.
Right, they bring their dog to us, right? So, I mean, when,
But but I think Toolsburg falls up under the county, I guess the agreement with the county, does Toolsburg fall up under that?
Y'all are asking me questions I don't know. I can tell you that we pick animals up all across Talladega County.
Cassie, we
I
need
know
to see
they
what
picked
that.
up one in Fayetteville
Yeah, we need
yesterday.
to,
Yeah.
so guys, we need to see what that agreement looks like, cause I know the county, only thing they give us is what, like $10,000 a year? 20?
20,
Up to
yeah,
20.
we got it doubled.
So let's look at that agreement and see what that agreement actually says. Alright, so that's what we'll do, so just email us over a copy of that agreement, and then we'll just look at the agreement as well as just go over this ordinance and,
Well, maybe we need some legal counsel on really what a city shelter, laws are, and what a county is required to do. And maybe that would give, Mr. Hubbard, Mayor Hubbard, an opportunity to have some discussion.
Section 37A-7 Code of Alabama.
It says that the county.
Very clear.
It's
No,
very clear
it
that
says
the
that
county-
over, a population over 5,000 in which the city pound is not located shall maintain a suitable pound or contribute their pro rata share.
yeah, it's, I
And
got,
Code of
let's-
Alabama.
Pro rata share.
yeah, I got that up
And
there.
Let's
the
just-
county doesn't have a shelter at all.
let's just see what that, we do need to pull that agreement and see what it says as far as the, contribution that the county does give. So guys, it looks like we're just gonna have to make a list of all the issues as far as how we're running the animal shelter, and we're gonna have to make another list of solutions and figure out a plan. But again, as of, right now, I'm not gonna even lie, like, I'm not educated enough on this matter, and if anybody does, if another organization wants to come in and give the council some information or give us some ideas, like, they're more than welcome. And the way to get on the agenda is, it's the Wednesday before the council meeting at 12 p.m. That's the deadline for your request to be in order to, get on the agenda. If you don't meet that deadline, then you will have to, roll to the next meeting. So that's the Wednesday before the council meeting at 12 p.m.
So is it, y'all's opinion that we need to go to a town hall type situation, or just another work session where you have the animal shelter and the feral dogs come and speak?
Yeah, I think that would be a good, just to have a representative of each, maybe even a representative of the volunteer group, other than the feral dogs that come to the shelter.
So let's just get a list of all the groups, that handle animals, and then send out an invitation to them to come to a meeting on behalf of that organization with questions, concerns, and solutions. But the only thing is, do you think we need to do it in a work session setting, or do it needs to be separate outside of a work session, like in another place?
The Open Meetings Act would apply since there would be a quorum of council members, but as long as we properly advertise it.
I'd rather it be in a work session.
All right, well, that's that, okay.
I could even try to organize something to, brainstorm and talk about,
I mean,
Find out what we can do.
cause all we would be doing is gathering information, just
Yeah.
gathering information and, just basically just brainstorming. We're not making any, we're not taking any action.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, we won't be taking any action, we won't be voting on anything. So that's why I was saying, I think it needed to be handled, in a different setting. Probably at a different time, because we also, this is, we're asking for all the employees and stuff to be here. That's what I'm saying, I think we need to just handle it,
In a, special, just for that.
yeah, just for that instead of a work session. So that's what we'll do, we'll come up with a day, and we'll, and the people that want to be here, they can be here, and the people that don't want to be here, they don't have to attend.
And it can be an informational,
Yeah,
Well, I think some good ideas will come out of it.
That needs stuff in it.
yeah, just because it'll be a quorum, because there will be more than two of us
Yes.
here. That's
we'll have to
why.
advertise it.
And I think if we can get the ball rolling, and we can get some ordinances in place and some things in place, then people will start getting, well, they're doing this now, so I gotta start doing this. And it's gonna take time. It's not gonna, if we change everything tomorrow, it's still gonna take time. So we just gotta get things in place and get the ball rolling, and let's make changes.
And
But right
also-
now, we're not making it.
We're gonna need Rondell also involved because he will be the one who's issuing, the police will be the one issuing citations. Right, like, so we'll need him and his group involved
It
as well.
sounds like we also may need to ask the commissioners to be here as well.
Yes.
The representatives,
Yes.
Mel, Hurst.
Yeah.
For the ones that represent this area, Hearst is in the northern end of the county, but, Ben Robbins, we could talk to Ben and invite him. Philip Morris, Mally Limbaugh, and Kelvin Cunningham are the ones that serve the areas around the city as commissioners. So I think that would be, those three would be good to invite as well.
All right, well, I mean, we can get it set up, and they can bring the stuff to me, and I can bring it to y'all, whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, but it probably won't be on it won't be on a regular council meeting night. It will be
No.
on its own separate night. But Cassie, this is another thing I do have on my list. Could we at least get some signs made to put out there on the corridor? I don't know if we would even have to ask the property owners for people to not feed the animals, because I think that's one of the issues that's making it harder to track them. Yeah, so we do need some signage out there, just, posting, please don't feed them, because
Would we need to have an ordinance in effect so we could put that or could we utilize like, the littering, ordinance? Cause that's considered littering, isn't it? I
Tell them
mean,
they're gonna be fined if they do.
yeah,
But-
fine,
Put it
yeah.
on the sign.
But I think we have to make sure that
Yeah.
we can't enforce it if it's not in the orders, but we do need to put the sign up just so people are made aware. Cause we have people that come in from out of town, and be honest, guys, we're all guilty of it. I mean, how many times have you been in your car and you seen a dog and you throw some bread or you throw something out the window? I mean, we're thinking with our heart and not our head. So with the signs out there, it'll just make us more
Yeah.
conscious, you know what I'm saying? So because we know we do have the issue, but it is harder to trap them if they're not hungry. So we've all done it, we've all done it.
And I think it could fall under the littering ordinance. Wynn could probably better let us know. Would that fall, like leaving food out there, would it fall under the littering ordinance we have in place? Because that's littering pretty much.
So Cassie, let's see about getting those, signs made, just kinda like,
They give the approval to put those signs up.
we are, if we're gonna agree on it, but do we all agree that we
We
need?
need to approach. Hobby
Yeah, that's what I
Lobby.
was asking, do we need to, yeah,
So city right away.
Go ahead.
Can I inject something?
Mhm.
So, in my discussions with Greater Birmingham, part of that process will be signage.
Mhm.
But part of that will be an ordinance that I've been speaking with Wynn on, that he's been reviewing a permanent ordinance and with the potential of a subsection of that to be a temporary ordinance during a government operation. We have to have permission from the property owners, not the stores. We've got 2/3 of them verbal right now, we're waiting to get written permission. That allows y'all to create the ordinance. Once it's approved, we get the signage, we put it at the entry and exits of all of those properties. We conduct that operation, which would be similar to what Mr. Randall discussed with trapping and that type of stuff, but you have to get the animals to stop. We have to stop feeding them for 5 to 7 days. And in order to do that, we have to have an ordinance. We have to have a judge who, and he's already agreed, will enforce it, right? Goes back to what you're talking about, Tim. And SPD to actually patrol it for those 10 days. and they write the ticket right then. Now, they're not getting a ticket for feeding an animal. They're getting a ticket for interfering with a government operation. Now, when that operation is over with, which takes about 10 days, the temporary ordinance goes away and the permanent ordinance is there all along. The fines would be whatever y'all set, 500, 400, 250, whatever y'all set the fine at. And that would be how we would proceed. The whole operation would take maybe 10 days from beginning to end. And then at that point, we're back to maintaining and controlling with one animal control officer. So those kind of the gist of the conversations that we've been having with Greater Birmingham. They have doctors on their team. They have veterinarians on their team. They have certified animal control officers. They have more human resources than anyone that we've looked at. They have more equipment to share with us than anyone that I've talked to so far. They have remote control traps, similar to what Mr. Winston spoke about. Everything is humane, but we've got to do our part on the municipality side. And some of it is what y'all have actually talked about the last 10 or 15 minutes. Now, that's short term, right? That's short term. There is a long-term plan that we're working on right now. That includes Representative Robbins. But we have to get our ducks in a row before we go before the county commission and present the long-term solution. Because some of that long-term solution is about what's gonna come up in our budget meetings coming up over the next several months. That's gonna impact that long-term plan. And so, and we're not to the point to get into the weeds or that conversation now. All I want y'all to know is we do have a short-term plan that's safe and humane and protects the city. These people are bonded, okay?
So when will that be presented to us, Mayor? Because we don't know anything about that
completely
plan.
lost. I had no idea anything was being discussed.
Because I mean,
If you want to have a called meeting, I'll probably have them here tomorrow.
So is this the
So
Greater
if you want to have
Birmingham?
a meeting before our next meeting in June. But that's Greater Birmingham Humane Society. Now, the long-term stuff, we're probably another month to 2 months before we start going down that path. Because there is a lot of information, the financial, the impact on the taxpayer, the city of Sylacauga over the last 25 years. If you live in Sylacauga and you're a taxpayer, we've been running the county shelter for 25 years. And the city of Sylacauga taxpayers have been flipping the bill with very little paid back from the county. So, long-term, there has to be something worked out between, I'm just gonna say this, not just the city of Sylacauga, but all municipalities within the county and the county. But that's long-term. We've got more issues than we can pray over right now, short-term. So we've got to address short-term first before we get to the long-term. But I want everybody to know, none of this, the conversations y'all are having, we've been having these conversations for months with Miss Stephanie and animal control. So I told y'all last meeting, I'm a quiet worker. I'm a quiet leader. I try to get things done and move on to the next task. So, some of that falls on me. But we're working on it. We're working on it every day, every day.
So will they be at the next meeting to present something to the council as far as a short-term plan?
What I described, yes, I think Greater Birmingham will come at any point in time. They came down Tuesday morning. Brian and I and some others were walking the property back behind Hobby Lobby for hopeful some future development back through there. And they came down and met with us in the parking lot. And I met Dr. Johnson, who is unreal. He is so knowledgeable. Guy's got a PhD in this stuff. And some of their staff, and I watched them interact with some of the dogs. I mean, very, very impressive. But yes, I think they will come at any point in time to
Alright.
present their plan.
So
Well,
Cassie,
now, me personally, I just wanna be informed. 'cause
I do too,
I
that's
like
my
all this,
district,
and I
yeah.
wanna know. Well, that's.
We get asked, because we're representatives, and so we're asked constantly about these things. I know, I mean, all of us are, and when we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, we can't answer our people efficiently, and we still are elected to represent them, so I just ask that we're included, especially.
I will say, I apologize for interrupting you, Laura. I will tell y'all, I've not held any information back from y'all. If y'all call me, if you communicate with me, I will tell you exactly where we are. I talk with Brian just about on a daily basis. Brian knows where we are.
but we don't talk to you on a daily basis,
That's what
Mayor.
I'm saying. I want to encourage y'all, because you're sitting here saying, if I knew, that's pointed at me. So all I'm saying is, communication is best when we meet each other in the middle. So I would encourage y'all to do that. There's 5 of y'all, there's 1 of me. And I guarantee you, I'm working to get this resolved.
So you're saying that we should check in with
Just
you every
reach
day
out.
to see what you're
Just
working
reach out.
on?
Just reach out. And I'll let you know.
All right, so Cassie, according to the mayor, we're gonna have greater, I don't wanna say it wrong, Mayor,
Birmingham Humane Society.
on the next agenda to come in and present some options. You have a question, girl?
Yeah, so is that gonna be in conjunction with this special session at the next work session?
Well, this is what I think, we can go either way you guys would like, but we just got some new information that the mayor has been working with some people on this same situation. So either we can still have the special work session, or we can see what they have to say and then have it that, I mean, the more information we have, the better. Because I'm pretty sure the people are gonna wanna hear what they have to say too, just like they heard what Mr. Randall had to say. So I
As long as
do,
we keep it to the fact that we've got short term and then long term, and we.
well,
Madam
according
President,
to the, I'm sorry, Laura, according to the mayor, they're only gonna come and address a short term. That's all they're gonna be addressing. And then they'll come back when they have another plan as far as long term. Because right now, we are dealing in the right now. Like what Mr., I say his name wrong every time, what Mr. Winston is presenting, this is a right now situation. And the mayor has somebody that wants to come in to do a right now situation and a long-term situation. But it's in our best interest to get all the information we can, so whatever contract we decide to enter into, or whatever way we decide to go, we make the best informed decision possible.
may I say something? I would also like to hear from the volunteers and rescuers who are boots on the ground with this as well, and their input, because they're the ones putting in the hours. They're the ones who are, seeing that these animals go out of the shelter. I would like to also hear their perspective, because they are boots on the ground with this as well.
So it sounds like, I'm hearing we still need to have the special work session.
Yeah.
We would still like to have the special work
Because
session.
we need their input. We work for the people. We need to hear what the people.
So Cassie, what we're gonna do, because Nate's not here, I'm pretty sure, he's gonna want to be a part of this. So let's get some dates together in between, probably next week. I think it would best serve us if we do it next week, like this council meeting, have that next week, and then we'll have the greater, I'll keep saying it wrong, Laura.
Greater Birmingham Humane Society.
Have them at the next work session. So send us out 3 dates and times. But I will say it is gonna have to be in the afternoon, 5 o'clock or after, because I don't get from Birmingham until like right at 5 or a little after, depending on traffic. So we'll have to be in the afternoon. And so that way, I mean, you can even leave a recorder. We don't wanna hold Heather and all them hostage, so it won't be a regular work session. What y'all think? All right, so we'll get some communication sent out, guys, and I'm pretty sure some of the council members, once we come up with a date that's gonna happen, they'll share it on Facebook, so the people that do wanna be here can be here, and if you do have any questions or concerns, bring them. Just depending on the crowd, I do just wanna give you a heads up, just depending on how many people come, there's no way we can let like 50 people talk. So if you are with an organization, I suggest you just pick the person you want to speak on your behalf, but we will set up a question box, and you can write out a question and we'll address them, as many as we can. Because we do want to make sure everybody is heard. We do understand this is an important yet sensitive matter, and again, we just want to be educated and just make the best decision possible. All right, y'all agree? We good? All right, so as far as the work session, I do have a couple of other things to Cassie. I think we do need a copy of the itemized budget for the animal shelter. Just to see what, what's coming in and coming out, and if you can, I'm pretty sure you will, there is a separate line for donations that are contributions that aren't coming from the city. I also wanted to ask another question as far as the interim position, the interim city clerk position. Isn't that for like 6 months? How many months are we into the interim position?
6 months would be up in August.
In August? And I was gonna, I don't know how everybody else feels about this. I do know that I don't think anybody has been able to pass the test this far. Is there a way we can make John Ham the interim city clerk until we get a permanent replacement? I mean, John, I think the city clerk's office, I don't think anybody in that office has been there, I don't think we have anybody that's been there except Sandy, year and a half? Everybody in there is fairly new, and John's probably the greatest asset we have right now in there. And maybe he can just help with some training and just try to help us, stay on track as far as city clerk duties. I mean, he done this for, I think he done this for over 20 years, but until we can get somebody who can pass that test and put somebody permanent in place, I do think we need to have somebody with some longevity and some experience in that position.
It's my understanding that Mr. Ham cannot work but a certain number of hours and dates and times, so I don't know if that's a viable solution for us, or for him, for that matter. Is this something you've approached Mr. Ham about?
No, I don't do like secret meetings and stuff outside of the council. This is the first time I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm bringing it up in front of you guys. This is just my recommendation, but I think with the knowledge that, but with the knowledge that, and again, this is just an idea. This is me, Tiffany, asking an idea. I think with the people that we do have in place, because Cassie's also, the mayor's secretary, we have Heather, those younger people, I think they can help him to where he can split his hours up and maybe do this. Maybe he can't, but I am asking that we look into that and maybe have a conversation. I think it should be open to a conversation.
So this is outside of work session, so this is obviously just something you want to discuss at another work session.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up at this work session. That's where things have to be brought up for us to discuss it as a council.
Well, if we're gonna be discussing the interim city clerk position, then do we not need to have a conversation about the testing and the civil service procedures of how we are going about hiring people for this position?
It would be a contractor position, just like, the one he's in now. We're contracting him, we would contract for him to be the interim city clerk. What I'm saying is the interim position only lasts for 6 months, and that'll be up in August. We're gonna have to figure out a plan.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you're not happy with the current interim city clerk position?
What I'm saying is, in August, the 6-month period for interim to be in place will be over.
It can be renewed for another 6 months.
Yeah.
But no more than a year.
That's what I'm saying. So we need to figure out we need to have some options for our next steps. All right, and Laura, you had a question about.
Accounts payable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I noticed on here that we had Coosa County Sheriff's Office reimbursement of training expenses for, over $16,000. Normally, before anyone like that is hired, it comes before the council and we approve if we're gonna pay that or not. And it's like we approve that, hey, we're gonna, cause you have to sign a contract that you're buying out their contract at that. And I just wanna know, since this person's already hired, do we sign a contract?
No, ma'am. So I apologize, that should be stricken from the accounts payable. There's still a conversation happening about that. There's a officer that left and went to Coosa County. We did receive an officer from Coosa County, so there's still conversation being had on that matter.
So are you gonna have to come before us and, ask for some monies to buy out that contract? Cause I know this is standard practice, and I mean, just like if somebody get an officer from us, they have to technically pay for the training and stuff. So do we need to be requesting for us to buy out a contract for a certified officer, or are we not to that point yet?
Not to that point yet.
All right.
But he is hired, right?
He's hired.
Okay.
But we just don't know if we're gonna have to pay out the contract yet. All right, so I guess we need to do the math and take that amount out, so we can still pay the bills.
And I noticed the Greater Birmingham Humane Society was on here. Oh, that's for vet services. So do they have a vet service, I guess, on site up there? Okay.
All right. You got the total, oh, I see you still adding.
Yes, ma'am. That would reduce it down to $1,189,920.93.
All right. You said 93 cents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So the vet services, we don't use just one vet, we just use whoever we
You
need.
just
Why
said
why
number.
do we have so many vet services on here?
You'll have to ask Stephanie.
So Matt, would you just ask the question, you know, I see it every month we have.
She'll go
every-
where it's most economical.
Oh, okay.
And in some places may not have the volume or the price, so it's fluid. She's shopping around.
Okay, cause I saw Chelsea Animal Hospital, then that makes sense then.
Is that it? Did I cover everything on the work session?
Well, so are we going to go back and have discussion on the, number 8, discussion is necessary regarding Mayor Hubbard's veto? Are
We-
y'all gonna, how did you handle that?
We voted on it. Would you like for us to re-vote on it?
Well, I'm just, you know, there was a section that I read where it said, here it is. It had to be a supermajority of 2/3 the vote of the total members of the council. And a 2/3 majority of 5 is 4.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna go back and forth with anybody on it. We'll just put it on the next agenda. Nate will be here and we'll vote on it again.
Sounds good.
All right. That's
So
good with y'all?
I do have one question.
Go
Are
ahead.
we moving that from the?
It's not a permanent nature.
I know. It's not, but Laura, I don't even think it's worth the fight. I think
Okay.
we've been here long enough. If that's how they wanna handle it, we'll just handle it that way. Nate'll be here, we'll just vote on it next time. I don't think we need
Well, it
to,
needs to be a part of the work session again so that we can discuss it.
well, that's what they wanna do. And anytime the mayor vetoes something, it's vetoed, we vote on it again and then we move on.
Well, I got it, I don't know where it's at, it's already a
Exactly, it's already,
application for them.
it's already,
I can't
but
find it.
we just keep going back and forth and
Well, if it was already discussed, why did it get put back on the agenda?
because the mayor decided that he wasn't gonna, honor it.
On what?
Were the request for all department heads or a member from each department to be present at the council.
No, y'all voted on it 3-2. I vetoed it. It's that simple.
But it's not a permanent nature, cause this is for this administration. Each administration passes their own rules or procedure. And so that would make this not a permanent nature, because the next administration can come in and say, hey, we don't want the department heads here. So it goes with each administration of how they want to have their rules of procedure and operating procedures for their council meetings.
All right, so it is the policy of Mayor Hubbard to have the department head here when we have an agenda item that requires that department head to be here. Is that correct?
It's not a policy, it's a practice.
A practice,
We passed all policies.
but that's a practice. So,
It's actually in code. If y'all want a department head to be here for a specific reason and question, you put it in writing a week in advance to the mayor with the specific question or questions, they answer them, then they're free to go.
Where,
And that's in code.
do you know what code that is?
1975, Alabama.
All right, so are we gonna discuss it tonight, or are we just gonna, vote on it at the next meeting when Nate's here?
It's up to y'all.
I think we should just, if that's the way they wanna handle it, I don't think it's worth, arguing over. I mean, we can go back and forth, and again, we've already decided is practicing law, and it's just based on certain, people's opinions. So what we'll do, Cassie, we'll strike this, once we open the, council meeting back up, we'll strike number, which one was it? Number 10?
Section 19, okay, good.
Yeah.
it's number 10, so you're striking number 10 from city council.
Section 19.
All right, so are we done with the work session? We have any more questions on the work session? No? All right, we're gonna resume the council meeting at 6:56 PM. All right. Next item on the agenda is action that is necessary to approve accounts payable invoices for fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $1,189,920.93. I need a motion. I heard Greer. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. Next, it's time for anyone to address the council. No action to be taken at this meeting. Please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record prior to addressing the council. So is there anyone here who would like to address the council? Just come on up and tell us your name and your address, please.
Okay. Rhonda Housen, 1211 West Fort Williams, Sylacauga. And originally, I just wanted to talk about car pay, and I will. But I heard something in the council member that as one of those tax-paying citizens, I want to address. Mayor, this is the second time I've heard you say you work quietly. And that's fine, but as one of those tax-paying citizens, I'm gonna suggest you work a little less quietly. I don't think we'd be in the situation we're in now if you had been a little bit more upfront about things that were going on. Now, we live in an age of technology, and granted, I'm not that familiar with it, but you can send a group email to these 5 people, one of them's not here tonight, that says, today we did so-and-so. We know this is important, we know it's on your mind, we know you have constituents asking you about it. This is what we did today. I don't see a problem with that, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm one person. But it really got to me when I heard that. These people are not being informed, so they can't inform us. You will hear me preach every day, be informed and engaged. You cannot be engaged if you're not informed. So I'm gonna harp on that, and then my other thing is do what you can, where you can, when you can, and now I've added while you can, because I'm 68. So, I know we have an issue with feral dogs. I know we need big business. I'm a realist. We need more big business. We need those dollars. We need people coming in, moving here, being attracted here. I know we got a problem. I know we need solutions. And all we've been calling for is humane solutions. And I was so happy tonight to hear the guest speaker offer some, and offer some free of charge to this city. Now, what I wanted to do originally was just say, hey, let's forget the past and let's move forward. Let's find solutions, let's go see what we can do, and let's take care of this. I'm offering one little small part, and I don't expect it to be an immediate solution. It's not. But I believe in education. I've been involved in education. I taught LPNs, I taught certified nursing assistants, I've taught CPR. Now, I've been sidelined for a long time because of health issues. But because of what happened the last meeting, I became motivated. And I want to do what I can. I got 2 people already who have volunteered to help me teach. We will teach basically any age group from 6 on. Tonight, I had goodie bags to give out that I put together in 2 weeks. It was like, boom, let's get this together for the meeting. Now, granted, it is oriented towards 6 to 10 years old. It's little coloring pages that talk about responsible pet ownership. And one of them says, do not dump dogs. It's got 4 crayons, it's got some stickers, and it's got a little coaster with a dog on it. I only offer this, number one, if you have kids, if you know a kid, if you want one, you want to take it home, take it home. If you know a teacher, if you know a Girl Scout leader, a Boy Scout leader, church organization, school organization, civic organization. I'll go in and talk to anybody. I was an adult before I knew the importance of heartworm prevention and spaying and neutering. I grew up where our dogs ran wild and they did whatever. So it can see an immediate result because some people just don't know. Granted, some people just don't care. But also part B of that is I believe in young minds. And I know that things that I was taught when I was little stayed with me as an adult. So I believe that if you can reach those young minds and teach them the importance of heartworm prevention, spaying and neutering, do not dump. A puppy is a lifelong commitment for the life of that dog. They're not always cute little puppies. I've got 2 people willing to help me to teach. I'll take any volunteers who want to help teach, put together goodie bags, whatever. And I would like to, can't think of my word right now, but get me some teens. I'd like to have a teen council advising me. Tell me, what are the teens into today? What will help them to get involved and to help walking dogs, adopting dogs, fostering dogs? Because part of this will also be teaching volunteerism and the importance of adoption. So anyway, that's what Part A is. I've put it together quickly. Hopefully it will grow and evolve and get better, maybe a little more sophisticated. But if you want a flyer and or a little goodie bag tonight, I've still got some. Of course, I didn't catch everybody before they came in. And I've got another box of goodie bags in the car. And I'll shut up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Rhonda.
you. I appreciate all your efforts on that, Ms. Rhonda. I really do.
Ms. Rhonda, I wanna wish you well with, Carpay. I agree with what you're talking about, communication as well, but I do feel like, I need to say a little bit to address some of that, cause I have some of the very same concerns that you actually brought up just then, but you were speaking to me. There's one of me, there's 5 of them. Okay. Now,
And they work and their job is man.
man,
I think most of them have other jobs and your job is man, so it's gonna be hard for them to get in to see you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Rhonda. We do appreciate it. Remember,
I have something to say.
but you know, you don't,
I have something to say to
Okay.
this, and it's about communication. And I'm not trying to pick a fight with our president, but a month into this, after the hospital vote, she didn't want to speak to me. And that's fine, I respected that. She asked me not to speak to her.
no, be specific. You've lied on me once. Say what I said. I said communicate with me in writing only.
The last piece of information that I shared with them, and it wasn't confidential. It wasn't anything of the nature. It was about to become public in less than 2 days. But it got put out to the public before there could be open, public communication. And then when it was leaked, instead of them wanting to have public discussion, they said, no, we'll just allocate the money to the mayor, putting it all on my shoulders, and that's fine. I've been in leadership for over 20 years. But when I do communicate, it gets twisted and turned into where I'm lying. I despise liars, despise it. But then I get turned into the villain and the liar on social media. That's fine. I'm 56 years, about to be 56. I ain't live with that. But it's not fair to my wife and my 2 sons. It doesn't bother me. It bothers them. If it bothers them, it bothers me then. It's not fair. If they call me, I stop what I'm doing and answer. Or I text them. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you right back. They know I am open to them. They know it. If there's something burning their tail up that bad, they're going to get in touch with me. And they have. And I tell them everything that I can. But now, 2 weeks ago, that trust that we have to have as elected officials was broken. I've received death threat over this stuff. Again, I don't care. But I do for my wife and my 2 boys. They didn't sign up for that when I ran for mayor. So I'm doing what I need to do to fulfill these things. And I tell them who will talk to me, look, y'all don't see it, you don't hear it every day, but we are working. Y'all may not see Brian working. And then next thing you know, a hotel's opened up. You see what I'm saying? People are doing the legwork. It's called trust. Y'all have to trust us. I don't feel like I've done anything to lose anyone's trust. I'm trying to be as transparent as why I made the video the other night. To get accurate information out to our community. So, and I do appreciate what you're doing. I see your social media platforms. I wish you well on that. Because it's another way to communicate. If y'all remember the first month I was elected, one of the first things I talked to all 5 of this council about was that we have to upgrade our technology. We have to get an updated website where we're putting information out in real time. That will help with some of this, but we have to get there. We have to get there. Just like the dog situation. We've got to get there to get to the resolution and move forward. No different with communication. So I do appreciate you and what you said, because I agree with you. I do. And I thank you.
All right, I'm gonna say this, and I usually don't. I don't post on social media. I never defend myself. I let people say what they wanna say about me, when they wanna say it, and I move on. So I'm gonna clear a few things up because I don't like to be lied on. The first thing is, when I asked the mayor not to speak to me, it was when he called me and he was aggressive and he was rude. He accused me of doing something that I did not do. That was after the hospital vote. Everybody know how I voted on the hospital. I voted no, I voted my conviction, and I said why I voted no. It didn't go the way in my favor, I moved on. I don't argue about it, but what you're not gonna do is call me and accuse me of doing something that I did not do and not knowing how to talk to me respectfully. So moving forward, I did ask him, from now on, you communicate me only in writing, and that's my right. The next thing is, he's mentioned this trust thing as far as the document being leaked. I have a problem with the word leaked. You can't leak information that the public is allowed to have anyway. The information was not leaked, they just got it early. And if it had been requested to be on the agenda in a timely manner, like every other thing on the work session agenda, is the public would have had it anyway. They'd have had it that Friday. They'd have had it that Friday. But since you called us and you requested for it to be on there because it was a sense of urgency, you had it figured out. You were gonna handle the situation. We trusted you, and that's why it was able to be addressed on the that next Tuesday. It doesn't matter who gave it out. I don't take the blame for it. I don't care. Say Tiffany did it. It doesn't matter. Now, as far as the other thing, the video that you made the other day, you lied on me. And I don't like to be lied on. I'm a lot of things. Y'all can call me a lot of things and it doesn't bother me, but the one thing I am not a liar, because I'm bad at it. You said you were not allowed to have something on that agenda. I have my text messages. And another reason I like to talk to you in writing, I have my text messages. What I told you was, if the agenda had not already been sent out, we could have added it. The agenda had already been set, it had already been sent out. So the people that you wanted to bring in, you could move them to the June 2nd meeting. And then I also asked you, you said, well, that's not fair, that's not fair. I said, what's not fair? You missed the deadline. The agenda had already been sent out. The only reason you wanted your people on the agenda is because I allowed Mr. Winston to come and present. And you said that there was, what did you call it? Some sort of conflict of interest. You didn't want him to come and present before the council, which I told you. I'm trying to learn all I can learn. Anybody that's reaching out to me, he made the deadline, he gave me some information, I was interested in the information. I like to hear things from the horse's mouth. So I asked Mr. Winston, what you told me, can you come until the rest of the council so everybody can know what's on the table to be considered? I even told you, I said nothing is on the table to be voted on, this is informational only. Informational only. I can't make a decision on my own. I don't try to make a decision on behalf of the council. I never do that. And I never deny anybody to have anything on this agenda, and nobody up here can say that I have. As long as you meet that deadline, you're allowed to have whatever you want on that dang on agenda. You can address clowns. If that's what you want to do, you can do it. And Cassie will tell you, as long as they make that deadline, it doesn't matter. I allow it.
Department head, but you put that on less than 24 hours.
The department head vote.
Yeah.
It was, and it was to be considered. I let you talk. I let you talk, Mayor. I let you talk. And again, it also could have been voted down. Anybody can have something added. It has to be 2 people. I am the council president, but I can be overthrown by any 2 council members. And I had the support of 2 to have it on there. I did. And just like again, the vote that was put on the last agenda, and I know a lot of times you guys probably think I don't know what I'm doing, but I do. The way it was written on that agenda, it was put on there to be voted on that night. That's the way it was written. And what did I do? And everybody in here, or everybody who was watching can say what happened. What did I say? This is written wrong. Bear with me, because I have to read it into the minutes the way it's supposed to be done. We have to suspend the rules in order to consider it. And if you suspend the rules, it does have to be unanimous. It wasn't even written like that. So I don't know if that was an attempt to, I don't know, get it passed or make me look stupid or whatever, but thankfully, like you mentioned, I am in my 3rd term, 10th year. I do know what I'm doing. So I don't like to be lied on. And again, I do want to reiterate, if anybody wants anything on the agenda, what's the deadline? The Wednesday before the council meeting at 12 p.m. I don't tell anybody they can't have anything on that agenda. But if you
ask 2 other councilmen if Greg Birmingham could come and speak.
You missed the deadline. You wanted me to take him.
You had 2 other people.
You brought it up, and I can read the text message. You brought it up, and I'm not gonna argue with you, because I'm pretty sure I'll be made to look out. I'll be made to be the bad person or the non-professional person. I'm sure that's how it's gonna look. But I asked you, and I even asked you this. I said, how is it all of a sudden now you have somebody you want on the agenda when I put somebody on the agenda? Why now? And then you even said you weren't prepared. And I said, well, how are you prepared now after the agenda go out? I asked you that. I think I've been fair. I think I've been probably the most compromising person up here, and I've been patient. But don't lie on me.
Nobody's lying.
You did lie twice.
Nobody's lying on me.
All right. So is there anyone else here who would like to address the council?
Hi, DJ Gann, 106 South Broadway. 1, thanks for the trash can, showed up 2 days ago.
You're welcome.
Turn the mic
I really don't want to be heard that much. Okay, 2, in response to some of what you were saying, Ms. Rhonda, the biggest issue I had with all of this, 1, nothing was leaked if it was going to be made public. There's nothing leaked that needs to be investigated or punished. 2, what got my backside in an uproar was the word vote put on the agenda at the same time that the discussion was put on there. It's just coming out and vote was put on there. That's what, I'm not asking.
But that's that. They decide.
I'm not
That has
asking.
anything to do with that.
Cool beans. That was what stirred people up. Because you released it to them, none of us knew, and the word vote was put on. Okay. I had a nice proposal all written up, but y'all have done a whole lot of talking about a lot of stuff that I've already put in here, so I'm not gonna waste your time. I am gonna hand this off to you, Tim, and let you read it, and then y'all can figure out if you wanna add anything, but there is some long-term solution in here. We were talking short-term, long-term. This has got some long-term solution, and it's a whole lot better than the 25,000 you were initially asking for.
All right, let me be clear, that proposal was not.
Please don't, please don't.
I
I understand.
For 25.
Guys.
Please, sir, I have watched all of your
Got,
videos.
Mayor, look,
I've watched all your videos, I've heard that. I appreciate it.
As a taxpaying citizen, I think every one of y'all is embarrassed.
well,
Y'all embarrassed.
can you come to the microphone?
No, you're just as guilty too, Ms. Nick.
That's
Y'all
fine.
embarrassed
You're gonna have to come to the
our city
microphone
in
if
front
you
of
wanna
this
speak,
city
Mr.
like
Randy.
that.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. I think we've all been here long enough, and I respect you, I like you, but you know, you've been here long enough to know the rules. And you know, I don't wanna disrespect you. I respect your opinion. But if you wanna speak, I'll allow you to speak, but you have to come to the microphone. And it's okay, it's been a long 2 weeks. Everybody's full of emotions, and a lot of things have happened. But whether we like it or not, we're gonna have to move forward and do something. So, and hopefully I didn't offend you, Mr. Randy. All right, is there anyone in here who would like to come to the microphone and speak?
For y'all that don't know me, I'm Dawn Stevens. I live at 9 Betsy Ross Lane. And I'm so confused with all this stuff. I noticed you wouldn't, what did y'all decide about the proposed landscaping thing about darting and catching and shooting the dogs? Was that thrown out tonight, and where are we going from now?
Well, that contract, Don, was rescinded, I think, a few days after, the council meeting.
Okay.
So that, yeah, that contract was rescinded.
gone.
Yeah, it's gone. We didn't even, that's why it didn't even really come up.
And we're gonna table and discuss all the things we talked about now, the Greater Birmingham Society and the guy that came that was real nice about the tracks and
Uh-huh.
everything. Okay, that was my concern, the shooting of the dogs, wasn't for it at all. Y'all know 3 of y'all I've called last week, so, I mean, that's all I have to say. And if there's anything I can do to help with any ideas, I've run businesses forever in Sylacauga, but these committee things y'all are getting together, I think you need to have a resident that lives in each district to talk about the animal problems where they live.
That's a good idea.
Thank you, Dawn. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council in front of the microphone? All right, going once, going twice. All right, having no further business to discuss, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
I heard Drew, all in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Time of adjournment, 7:18.